Facebook doesn't trust us. Facebook doesn't trust people. Like, you guys have the controversy of gun control, right? And it's the same as that. It's all about people's distrust. Social media is only exposing how we are. Like, social media platforms are not making us radicalized or whatever. Leftists live in this fantasy where humans are not humans. Leftist people are just so artificial, don't you think? They live in this imaginary world. So that's why they want to rule and regulate everything. It's just people being on there. And I don't know why Mark Zuckerberg or whoever have to take the credit for us being us, whether we are good or bad. Hey guys, how's it going? It's me, Yoko from Japan. Welcome back to my channel. For those who are new here, I'm Yoko. I'm Japanese. I was born and raised here in Japan, and I've lived all my life here in my mother country. And I'm best known as a huge Trump supporter. For those who have known me, I am sorry for not posting videos, but I was really busy, preparing for the protest at the end of last month, which was during G20 here in Japan, like in Osaka Prefecture. I went to Osaka and protested and everything, and I do want to talk about all of what happened in Osaka and how it was there and what it politically meant and so on. What I'm trying to say is that I want to catch up with you. However, in this video, I simply want to talk to you, or rather complain to you, because I want to share this experience that I just had, which is I just got banned on Facebook. I had thought the ban is something that happens to really radical people, even those who are on the right side, those who use like really tense expressions and so on. It seems like I'm that intense, like. But here's the thing. So I got banned, but for what? For my post from 6 years ago. 6 years, man. Let's now imagine Facebook being a nation. Facebook nation would be the kind of nation that, passes the bill to create the laws to, arrest people, but they don't just, arrest the people from today, but they search everything and go back in time and arrest people for the laws that weren't there at that time. Like, that'll be crazy, right? But that's what they're doing with their platform. At that time, 6 years ago, my comment was not opposing to any policy that they had at the time. They just kept me free. I could comment and make posts on anything using my expressions and so on. So I was following the rules back then, 6 years ago. But because of the policy they made today, now all of a sudden me from 6 years ago is like a guilty. Like, I can kind of understand though where they're coming from, that, on the internet you post something and it exists there forever. So you want to do something about it. I get that, but don't charge us for what we didn't commit, it's their responsibility. So I don't know why I have to get banned. Like, ban yourself, for God's sake. But the ban is actually not a big deal for me because I'm not emotionally attached to Facebook anymore. I was for a certain period of time, when I was more in a unhealthy state, both mentally and physically. But I got out of that and I'm enjoying my real life with my husband and everything. But I do use Facebook for getting information, and I do have all sorts of political friends on Facebook. Who I care about is those who are from overseas, because that's the only way that we can get in touch with. But the good thing is that the ban is not serious and it's only for 3 days long. I can still see the timeline, and if people post links, I can still, go to the links. And also I can use Messenger, which is really good because that's pretty much what matters, to me. So that was good. What I cannot do is to make posts and also I can't react to people's posts like liking and loving and sharing and that sort of things. And the question you're probably having right now is, why did I get banned? I did see the post of mine from 6 years ago, like in 2013. I briefly read that all, but then I marked it as a mistake so that they can review it again to see if I actually violated their guidelines. Today I click the notification part, and like where I noticed that I got banned, it navigates me to their Q&A page, and I cannot see the whole post anymore there for some reason. I should have taken a screenshot of that. But what I remember about the post is that it was my reaction and comments made on the protests of left wings here, like radical leftists that are dangerous, like real radicals with violence and so on, who are marked by the police and so on. This group in particular that I attached a video of in the post, which was banned, was about Hantende. That organization is there to deny and protest against our emperor family. If you're Japanese, it's something that you would never ever do or say. I don't like to use the word emperor because it really, things get lost in translation and it means different things. But our Tenno, which you may call emperor, it has the history of over 2600 years. But of course, there are leftists here in Japan that are very largely influenced by communists overseas, like in China or Russia. There is even the Japanese Communist Party, which was established as a Japanese branch of Comintern back in the day. I don't know what kind of leftist Hantenen people are, but communist aim in general is to defeat the emperor family culture in Japan, because our emperor history is what defines Japan. So once it's gone, it's not Japan anymore, so then they can have a revolution. My post that was banned by Facebook was about such a radical, dangerous people, and I was criticizing those radicals, those who are socially acknowledged as they are like the terrorist type in Japan. They are dangerous. I'm such a down-to-earth person, but when it comes to our Tenno, I go really intense. I did use like vulgar or a little too intense expressions, but I think what crossed the guideline on Facebook was the word Shina. Shina, as in China. I keep seeing like internet right wings or conservative people in Japan getting banned by using that word. Let me give you a little lesson here. In Japan, when you refer to China, you usually say 中国. But some people here in Japan do not like the name 中国because it's the reflection of their Sinocentrism. It's basically saying that they're the center of the world. Like, that's what their name means to us. They think that they're the center of the world and they are there to conquer the world, that sort of things. And so some of us use Shina because you can even tell that it's practically the same by listening to the word, right? Shina, China, Shina, China. The funny thing is that when we refer to the name of the oceans, the South China Sea, the East China Sea, guess what we call them as? 南シナ海、東シナ海. We call them Shina. And depending on where the oceans are located, like in the south or east, we call it 南シナ海、東シナ海. So that's okay, but when we refer to China being Shina, then that's bad. But there are things like shinasoba, meaning noodles, and so then we can't call shinasoba as Shina. Current China, which is led by the Chinese Communist Party, is the evil empire. Back in the day for the US, the evil empire was Soviet Union. But today, for Asians, the evil empire is China. And why do we have to listen to such an evil empire that's expanding and that's thinking that they're in the center of the world and expanding to other Asian countries and slaughtering and oppressing other people from other countries? You want to limit the activities of us criticizing and stopping them. That's just ridiculous to me. And Facebook is trying to be all nice, like it's a company. I get it that it has to protect their name. I just wish that they would just stop trying to be neutral. There's no neutral point in this world. You just have to pick a side because you are on either side. Neutrality is such a fantasy and delusion. I have a feeling that the bottom line of this ban is coming from where Facebook automatically misjudges me as a US citizen. Because my language choice on Facebook is American English. I pick US because I want to practice English and I want to, be soaked in the sense of English, at all times. That's how I practice and polish my English ability. Even my computer or cell phone or, like social media platforms like YouTube or Facebook, Twitter, everything, I set everything in American English. So I always pick US. USA. And what was funny was that after the ban, I can still check Facebook, right? When I logged into Facebook today, it said something like get two-factor authentication before the election, right? And then I thought to myself, like, wait, Japan is having election right now. What do you mean before the election? And I'm like, oh, probably Facebook thinks that I'm a US citizen. So it was announcing that, protect your account. I was like, okay, I'll do that. I want to protect my account because I'm China's enemy, So I was like, yes, I want my account to be safe. Click. And it said like, you are not authorized to do this kind of things because I'm banned. I'm like, then why do you have to show that to me? I know I'm talking about the little bugs on Facebook, but I'm a user. Why do you have to confuse me? I think what the social media platforms have to do is to localize their services. What's dangerous or violent in the US might not be the same in other countries, like Asian countries. In each country, we have different problems, so our common sense in each nation varies. The society has different systems, and then the social media platforms have to follow that, or else it wouldn't function. And it's easy for alt-right people in the US to say, oh, just quit Facebook, It doesn't happen here. Everybody is using Facebook. Some young people got tired of Facebook, they don't find it appealing anymore and they use Instagram. But the majority of Japanese people in general, like as a whole, from young to old, we all use Facebook, and that's how we get in touch with each other. I guess it's okay though, I can always make another account, right? So that's what Japanese people do actually. When they get banned, they have an alternative account. They switch it to that while they are banned and then come back to the original one when the ban is over. So no matter what Facebook does, people find a way to still do whatever they need to do because that's how they are. Social media platforms could, ban people or eliminate all sorts of comments and so on, but people are people. That social media platforms are only the platforms online, and people are people regardless. Things will happen over and over again unless you change the person. When Facebook overdoes it, like all this censoring and so on, like all this political correctness thing, if there are too many rules to follow, then people will go on to the next one. I believe it's happening in the US, like the frog one, what it's called? I forget, but also the mines, I think. Didn't President Trump attend a social media summit or something like that recently, like yesterday or today? So I was like, oh, that's a good timing. I haven't read like closely, but I got the impression that President Trump is, not happy about the leftist platforms excluding conservative people or comments. I'm totally on the same page, being banned and everything. People think that arguments or disputes are bad, but actually when we focus on verbalized version of our war, it's actually preventing us from physically fighting. We are not harming each other. It can lead to violence sometimes, but we are actually talking by words, not by physical forces, and that's actually healthy, no matter how it looks. Yes, my expressions regarding China or Han people, those who want to end our tradition, yes, when I criticize them, I go really intense and very strong in words. But What does it mean? It's preventing me from using violence onto them physically because there's this platform and I can just express myself there instead of going strongly with force into them directly. In my opinion, what we all need to realize is that there will be always radical, dangerous people. And yes, it's important to watch these radicalized, really dangerous people, but what's more important is to educate the people that receive the words from these dangerous people, don't you think? I think that social media platforms are trying to prevent all kinds of threats or possible scenario that they don't want their platforms to use for any violence or murders and so on, or even terrorism. You know, they don't want to help those people. I get that, but medium is only a medium. You're powerless and helpless in regards to that, in my opinion. We just live in this information generation today and things are just on a cyber level, you know? It's the same. Everything is just the same as this logic that, you know, how do I say in English? Like you guys have the controversy of gun control, right? And it's the same as that, you know, social media is the same as that. Everything is clicking in my head right now and I'm almost like tearing up because it's really the fundamental cause of that. It's all about people's distrust. You know, today, so some people in the US want to have guns to protect themselves, like probably you guys, like my viewers. And there are other kinds of people in the US that don't like guns, you know, that they don't want people to purchase guns or have guns at home. And surprisingly enough, both sides are actually insisting the same thing. Those who want guns to protect themselves, they have to protect themselves. From what? From other humans in the society. Why? Because they distrust the people in the society. They believe that there might be threatful people in the society. They don't trust everyone and therefore they need to protect themselves. And on the other hand, those who don't want guns in the society or those who want more control, they distrust those who own guns. They believe, those pro-gun control people believe that those who own guns will go crazy and start killing people. But that's the distrust in those gun owners, even though they are following all the rules and they have common sense and they're in a good health and everything. You know what I mean? And it's the argument is actually the same in Japan. We don't talk about guns, but we talk about military. Conservative people in Japan want to have our own military because we need to protect ourselves. On the other hand, there are people like leftists or non-political people that don't want Japan to have the military. They don't want Japan to be militaristic. And what's happening here is that conservative people don't trust other countries. We believe that we're under attack, so we want to protect ourselves using our military force. And on the other hand, these left-wing type of people, they don't want their own country to have the military because they don't trust their own country, because they are brainwashed into thinking that Japan, their own country, did something horrible back in the day, which is a history that the winners wrote, not us. And with this mindset, when I look at the social media platforms, it's the same. Facebook doesn't trust us. Facebook doesn't trust people, even in other countries. They think that they need regulations and everything and they have to censor everybody, you know, using all kinds of technology which actually mislead all the judgments. But regardless, they want to show that they're trying in order to look like they're the good guy. But in reality, how I see it is that it's not the responsibility of Facebook. The people are people. You know, let's say there's a knife. Some people may use it to cut the foods that they eat. Others might use it as a weapon to attack others. It's not about this knife, right? Same for the social media platforms. It's not about the platform. It's only a platform. It's just a medium. It's just up to how people use it. So, and what people keep thinking about is to change people. Yes, Facebook and other social media platforms are actually very strong and powerful in our society today, but it doesn't mean that they have the power. Those who have the power is the ones that are using the platforms. Those social media platforms are empty. There's nothing. It's just a platform. It's the people that are taking advantage of the platforms. And however, it's Facebook people and so on, they misunderstand the picture as being that they have all the power because everyone gathers around on the platforms. I don't think they have the power. It's just people being on there. And I don't know why Mark Zuckerberg or whoever have to take the credit for us being us, whether we are good or bad. I'll end this video by letting you know about what's his name? Gary Vaynerchuk. He often says that social media is only exposing how we are. Like, social media platforms are not making us radicalized or whatever. It's just making it visible. It's just exposing who we are, you know, online. We might not openly share everything in like offline, but online we just say whatever the heck we want because we expose ourselves. It's just who we are. It's just how humans are. All the censoring and political correctness really, to me, is, you know, trying to deny the parts of us. And I really feel like suffocating when that happens. I don't like censoring, you know? We suck. Humans suck. We have problems, and that's okay because we are humans. That's what I think today, and that's how I'm feeling more free, and that's how I'm happier today. I had that realization that it's okay for us to be this way because we have the right reasons. Even those radicalized people, I'm not gonna agitate them to be radicalized even more. I will try to, you know, spread common sense, of course, but they have the reasons why they are the way they are. If you want to stop them, or if you want to help them rather, from they were born to this point, there's this time gap and something happened along the way. It might be easy to oppress the current state, but you don't have to do that if you solve the problems here. And that's what politicians are for, and that's what experts are for. People are too lazy to solve all kinds of problems. It's like leftist ideas are all fantasy, you know? Humans are humans. Leftists live in this fantasy where humans are not humans. And that's the fundamental problem in this world. But leftists themselves can't see that because they live in this bubble and they can't free themselves from the bubble that they've created and bash the rest of us being that we are the wrong ones because we don't follow their bubble. Leftist people are just so artificial, don't you think? The conservative people just want to preserve what's already there, but leftists, they have this fantasy, this artificial things in their head, and they live in this imaginary world. So that's why they want to rule and regulate everything. You know, we humans have to accept ourselves for who we really are, you know. So I could go on and on and on, but I don't want this video to become too long, so I'm gonna finish here. So let's be in touch, okay? So please subscribe to this channel so you will see me again. Please like this video if you liked it because I like it when that happens. And also I do abstract art, so if you are into art, please check out my Etsy store where I sell my original art. Like, it's the original art, you know, not copies, so you'll get that. And when my values as a influencer or opinion leader goes up, the value of the art will go up too, so it's a good investment. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. I will talk to you soon. Bye!